Hey everybody, how you doing? Now we're live. Alright. Hey, how you doing? This is Aquarius. I'm at Tacos My Way. This morning I was looking at videos. I was watching some Richard from Boston, DITRH, Photo Helix, talking about all of the alien phenomena in the skies and chemtrails and who's doing all this stuff. It was a very deep conversation between a bunch of people who've done their research and are awake to the topic. So it was very interesting to watch. So I was thinking about it. Here I am, I'm eating lunch near where I live at Tacos My Way. I just ordered some chicken, special, cooked in oil, enchiladas. That is very hot. I should have been warned with the temperature warning. Holy moly. I didn't get my shirt. I'm okay. So anyway, what have I uploaded in the last few weeks? My last video I uploaded was about the U.S. will fail in the next U.S. economy trade war with China, because China is preferred by the global elitists. Okay, I also uploaded a video last night about my first, my near-death experience, where I was in my shower and I was sick and had a bacterial stomach bacteria for a week and ran out of energy and was tired and was in my shower and I projectile vomited and had diarrhea and I hit my head against the wall and I fell on the floor and I covered the drain and I passed out and I drowned without experiencing drowning because I was unconscious. Before that, what did I do? I've got videos about hiking. I went to Saturn V Rocket Park. Did a video hiking to the Saturn V. And what else? I'm finding out I can't pick up my tacos without a fork. They keep falling apart. So I come here for lunch a lot of times. But hey guys, I just enabled myself for Super Chat. I want to tell you, as a video maker, if you're looking on Super Chat and you're thinking about contributing to my channel, what I do, I would appreciate it. I need some money. Actually, I need some funds. I know cash is an illusion, but I need the minimal amount to get a better PC, because the PC I use right now doesn't have a really good GPU, and I spend a lot of time editing. And I don't have enough GPU to watch videos without interruption or save or edit or do a lot of it. I'm starting to edit and I'm getting more advanced than my computer. And sometimes I need some camera equipment or a lens, you know, eventually when I get a DSLR. But I'm just going to keep putting out equipment or information and videos on the truth or whatever I find. It's a project. It's a separate entity within itself for me, you know. Let's talk about space. Well, what is space? You know, within the firmament where God is underneath, that's probably within the realm of the 7 planets, including Sun and Moon, under the firmament, with the luminaries like the Egyptians described in the belly of Nut and Ut. You know, probably a lot of the aliens that people talk about, they're not from other star systems, they're not from other worlds, they're not from other universes. They're from our same geosystem. They're from the planetary structure within the 7 planets, under the firmament, or there are luminaries under the firmament that we call stars. And I think a lot of these beings may come through, such as Zeta Reticuli. You know, if you can spot it in the stars, maybe they have a vortices or wormholes that can go to those and come back. And they're coming into our world from the luminaries that we call stars. But that doesn't mean they're above the firmament. You know, we have to learn a lot about the system machine that we were in that the Creator created, the Creator's machine. And a lot of that knowledge is missing. Yeah, Skinwalker. They were talking about Skinwalker Ranch. You know, a lot of these places in the western United States, especially where these things happen, where they have these beings, they're like archon spirits or something, that can actually come through portals in the ground and inhabit people and use their skin as their outside body. Like they can appear as a wolf, a cat, a dog, or another person they find, and they make into a zombie. It's called Skinwalker Ranch. But there may be a lot to that depending on where these spirits come from and what they're capable of. Here, let me try a really hot big bite. Hold on. That's a lot of Mexican. So, oh yeah, well, who's controlling it all? Well, you know, you talk about the elites, you talk about Jesuits, you talk about Freemasons, you talk about Rosicrucians, you talk about Templars, you talk about the Pope, you talk about the Jesuits in the Vatican, you talk about the royal families, you talk about Vladimir and the relation to the vampires and the European family system. Then you go over to Eurasia and you have the dragons with the red dragon system. You go to Arabia and you have the Muslim Brotherhood, which is like the Scottish Rite of Arabia. That's where all the Freemasons go. The Muslim Brotherhood is literally like saying Scottish Rite. So that you know where these things come from and who's participating with who and what's going on. You cannot be fooled. Let me try another bite of my magic taco here. Let's see. Here we go. Another big bite. Come on, don't fall apart. It fell apart. So anyway, fairies or gnomes? No. I don't believe in fairies or gnomes. Who knows? If there may be little beings that are so small they can hide under leaves and they're running around and are under our feet, we don't even see them. But maybe sometimes people have captured them on camera. I don't know. The moon landing. Yeah, the moon landing. You know, if you watch the video from Bart Sibrel, funny thing happened on the way to the moon. His video is long. Just skip to 32 minutes and see Neil Armstrong faking, getting caught red-handed in color in the Apollo capsule on a movie set with the projection screen out the window, faking and occluding a big blue marble out the window of the capsule on video on July 20th, 1969, 50 years ago in this week. So he was not in space, he was not halfway to the moon, and the Earth is not round. It's not a ball. And he was caught red-handed. Look up, the guy who posted this video requested the video from the government under the Freedom of Information Act, and his name is Bart Sibrel. S-I-B-R-E-L. Bart, B-A-R-T. Look up Bart Sibrel. Funny thing happened on the way to the moon. Now what happens is that movie, that video documentary that he made after he got that video is full of a lot of background and Illuminati information, and a lot of people will start that video and they'll be 5-7 minutes into it and they'll just think, this is a lot of Illuminati bullshit, I'm not going to watch this, and they stop. But if they just continued to 32 minutes, they would see Neil Armstrong in the Apollo capsule, in color, caught red-handed, faking not only being in space, but faking the big blue marble picture of the Earth out the window that he created because the portal window was round without the windows on in the capsule. They made the window portal completely round and said that's all Earth. And it was completely cropped, created image inside the capsule. But they filmed themselves on video doing it in color. Now, wait a minute. Now, color didn't exist in 1969. According to what we were told, if you remember the 1969 Apollo moon missions, everything was given to us in fuzzy black and white. And the news stations were only allowed to go to Mission Control and see a black and white image off of a screen and film the screen so that we got a second-hand or third-hand image of what was on a screen. So why did they do that? Why did, if they had color film and they were filming inside the capsule in the movie set, then why did they show us the black and white fuzzy stuff on the world stage? Because they wanted to hide the wires, the screens, the knee pads, the stains, the aluminum, the duct tape, the dust, everything about it, you know. It's very, very obvious. If you really, really, right now in my mind that I'm at today, if you watch anything on the moon landing, any video, it's just so freaking obvious. Everybody's just completely accepted it. Like it's real. But when you're watching it, it's so freaking fake. It's like an animated cartoon. It's so badly done. And everything, you know, like the pressure suits. If you had a pressurized spacesuit, you were in a vacuum of space where you had no pressure on the outside of your suit, you would look like the Michelin Man. Your suit would be blown up, high pressure, like a tire, like the tire on your car. Can you squeeze the tire on your car and make a dent? You know, if it's at 32 psi? No, it's too tight. You can pump it and it's very high tension. There's a complete different atmosphere inside that tire and then what you're living here in one atmosphere. It's like 32 times. So what they were doing when they went out in their spacesuits, they're pretending to walk outside the lunar landing module and swing golf clubs and ping hammers, which, by the way, in avoiding the vacuum of space, there are no hammers. You can't hear any hammers because if there's no elements to conduct the sine wave of vibration, there is no sound in space. Which you can see the video of Neil Armstrong filming Buzz outside the window, hammering his core sample spike into the ground. You hear it going tink, 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 tink through the window. Right there, that's a bust. I mean, come on, there were so many mistakes. But the biggest one is those spacesuits. If you had a spacesuit pressurized to your normal atmosphere and you were in a void, it would expand so tight. Anything that pricked it would have made you explode and die. Have you ever seen any astronaut test in a vacuum chamber? They don't. They did it once. I think I've seen a video in the 60s where the guy fell over in his chair and almost died. Felt the saliva boiling on his tongue. Nobody does that anymore. The astronaut, they don't go up in vacuum chamber. It's too dangerous for the show. I don't believe that any astronaut has ever gone up in a rocket. Actually. Because once you know, they have that emergency slide chute. That when they show you they go in the rocket on TV, as soon as they turn the camera off, they turn around, open the door, crawl through the jump space into the slide chute, go down under the rubber room, go down under the launch pad, and wait until the rocket takes off. And then they go off disguised into their other locations so that they can film on the radio and continue to broadcast. They probably have a broadcasting van right there to pick them up out of the rubber room. Most likely. So, no, yeah, these people that say that the rocket just ditched into the ocean. As soon as it takes off, you can see it. They never go straight up. They turn sideways and they're going horizontal across it, and you see them just shooting out over into the ocean from Florida toward the Bermuda Triangle, and they're going sideways. It's like, why aren't they going up into space? And they tell you they're accelerating to get a velocity so that they can exit Earth's orbit. Come on, they're ditching it in the ocean. So when they go out there, they have a pilot. I have a friend who found a drawing of someone who died, who was retired from NASA, who had a drawing kept in a secret notebook of the interior of the space shuttle that launches from the launch pad at Cape Canaveral. And it had a one-seater pilot seat with all of the controls. And what it was one highly paid, secret, most likely Freemason, sworn in, oathed, very well trained pilot that was unknown, that was paid a lot of money to land that shuttle right after rocket takeoff. So all of those black tiles and the experiments they did to keep those things from burning, and those things counted on that launch. You know, they had to get that jet up to 17,500 miles an hour, then detach from the rocket, let the rocket ditch in the ocean, and then land the shuttle as a jet in some undisclosed location. Like, let's say, if it wasn't in the Caribbean or anywhere near the Gulf, it must have been over in Diego Garcia, near Eurasia, you know. But I want to know, how many people did they have in control with the FAA and the airlines and the radars where they couldn't spot all of this shit, you know? But it's obviously what happened. I mean, you think about it, a rocket can't have any thrust in space. If a rocket's pushing fire out the back of its body, and you're in a vacuum of a void that has no elements, there's nothing to push on. There's no equal and opposite reaction. You don't fit within the laws of physics or thermodynamics. You're in another realm, right? Imaginarily. So you can't push on anything. So how would you steer a rocket? You know, the space shuttle has these rockets on the front of the craft. They're supposed to be hypergolic fuel cells that mix oxygen with liquid fuel and spray in a certain direction, and that's what straightens out the craft. So it can mate up with the space station that's already going 17,500 miles an hour at 275 miles above the Earth. And it's going to mate with it and just match up because they score some little jets. And they just go perfect right into it every time. They never show you the mating. They never show you the coupling. They never show you anybody steering anything. When they show you the astronauts inside the cabin, they're all floating around in their khakis, looking at iPads and staring out of windows. They're not controlling anything. They're not even pushing any buttons. It's really bad. Just go back and look. They never have once shown an astronaut leave the environment on camera of floating inside the ISS, go into the chamber, change clothes, change into a spacesuit, and leave out the exit door and seal it back up and go out and do a spacewalk in space. Astronauts don't even test in space. Like I said, they had that one guy that almost died. They decided that's way too dangerous. We'll never do it again. You know, so you cannot have an astronaut in a vacuum. They're too scared, and it's too dangerous for the show. You know, think about it. It's a large show. It's a deception. It's the magic of Disney. Werner von Braun. So if you don't believe in it, that's when you break away from the mind control. When you die and they try to suck you back into the moon to reincarnate, if you don't want to go, you should know the earth is flat, and that's not what it's about, then hallelujah, brother, sister, you'll go up to heaven, and you can ascend beyond what they're trying to suck you into. In fact, if you think of a great stoneworking Masonic organization that has a symbol of a compass and a square, the letter G, that's what it's about. The compass represents the fourth dimension, whereas Bob Dylan says the world you can't see. And then the square represents the third dimension. And in Freemasonry, it's the first three laws. Those are the blue laws. So most cops join that, and they become a blue level Mason. So they have the first 3 degrees, and they have a ring, and they have some connections, and that's as far as they go. But they're not like us. They're not studying and becoming an erudite scholar in the truth and what's really going on, since beings enter from Saturn, Venus, Mars, Neptune, Jupiter. All that stuff. So, welcome to my world. Thank you for being here, because you are part of it. Obviously, if you're here listening to my video, you already have some conceptions, or you've been awake, or you've broken away from mind control. But I also wanted to mention, like I've told some people, I just became eligible for Super Chat. So if anybody's giving me a Super Chat, I can't see it on here right now in this restaurant, but I appreciate it and thank you. I am looking for donations for new computer equipment. I need to upgrade the computer that has a GPU, and I need to get some lighting set for my house. And I want to create that out of my separate businesses, my income. That's why I run commercials, because, end over end, I am here to make money because that's what helps me survive. A lot of people complain about commercials. They say, the truth only comes from somebody that ain't running no damn ads. It's just not true, because some of us want to make a living at this if we're going to spend 8-10 hours a day doing it, editing videos and filming stuff, covering topics, reading, narrating. You want to be recompensed for your time. That's all it takes. It's not like we're getting rich. But hey, if you can support my part-time job that I have, I try not, I'm an older guy. I have money, I have retirement, I have IRA, I have funds, I have cryptocurrencies, I have all kinds of stuff. But I try not to touch any of my money or spend anything, because I want to live. Right now, none of my kids live with me. They're all empty nested. And I want to live within what I earn. And I have a part-time job at a restaurant. And that leaves me time to create videos and sell my book and write more chapters in my book series. I'm actually an author of a sci-fi book I have on Amazon, and I'm establishing a book series. And I also have cryptocurrencies, which are very good coming up. I invested a year and a half ago. So I'm not worried about the long term. It's a struggle right now. You know, with the way YouTube has been squashing people. Up until about a month or 2 months ago, I had a video about my near-death experience that was getting up to 5,000 views a month. And I was getting, even more. That video just went skyrocketing. And as soon as I got monetized and I became a verified partner, it all shut down. I was getting 3,000 views every 48 hours, and then 1,500, and then 1,000. And now I'm down to some really low numbers. And I'm listening to people that complain about that, and they're posting other videos, and they're saying, look, just survive through it, because they're tightening the algorithm. They're not giving you as many impressions, and they want people to improve their sound quality, their video, their presentation skills, and they're not just allowing any Yahoo to come on here and present some ugly video of some stupid shit that's 1 minute and 42 seconds long that has no beginning, intro, or ending, that kind of thing. So you have to live through it, and they tell you if you just live through it and push the algorithm, you'll get past it. So that's what I'm in now, folks. My videos don't have a whole lot of views, but I think I'm putting out a lot of really, really, really good content. So if you like it, please hit like, subscribe, come back to my channel. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming here. This is Aquarius signing out. Until the next time I post a video, have a good day.